Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions, and thank you again so much for our time together. Tonight, main campus, we're starting a new series of studies that will be just exclusively in the Friday night services called What Does Revival Look Like? I'll look forward to seeing you there. But right now, let's go back to 2 Corinthians, chapter 6 and chapter 7. Let me read you two different passages and put them together for you. In verse 11, Paul says, "We have spoken freely to you, Corinthians, and opened wide our hearts to you. We are not withholding our affection from you, but you are withholding yours from us. As a fair exchange, I speak to my children. Open wide your hearts to us also." Now, chapter 7, verse 2. "Make room in your hearts for us. We have wronged no one. We have corrupted no one. We have exploited no one. I do not say this to condemn you. I have said before that we have such a place in our hearts that we would live and die for you. I have great confidence in you, and I take great pride in you, and I'm greatly encouraged. In all my troubles, my joy knows no bound." Now here Paul looks at the people in Corinth and said, now listen, I know you've got the super apostles competing for your attention, and they call themselves super apostles, and there is no church that Paul ever ministered to that treated Paul as badly as the church in Corinth. And it's really the only church that Paul never received an offering from. It's a church that Paul fully supported himself, and other people supported Paul, but he said other people exploit you, other people take from you, other people take advantage of you. And he said, I never did that. He said, now I don't get this. He said, these guys come in with all their flashy and all their super apostle talk, and you just open wide up for them. But he said, now that's not right. He said, you're my spiritual children. Open wide your hearts for me. I've opened my heart to you. I've not withheld my affection from you. Don't withhold yours from me. And he said, make room. There's got to be some place. Make some room in your hearts for us. We wronged no one. We've corrupted no one. We've exploited no one. There must be room in your hearts for us. Now, brothers and sisters, I want to talk to you about how a pastor feels. When you sit down and you talk with a person and their heart is open, it's very obvious. But there are other people you sit down with and you realize their heart is closed. Their heart is completely closed. Now, with people like that, to be very honest, I just shut down. There's nothing more I say to them. I don't go visit them. I don't go call on them. There is nothing I try to do with them until they make a decision to open their heart. They've been wowed by somebody else. So, okay, when they get over this and they open their heart up again, then I can begin to help them, because right now there's no room in their heart for me. There's no affection in their heart for me. Doesn't matter how I feel toward them. There's nothing that flows back the other direction that makes room. Now, I challenge you with all of our pastoral staff. As pastors, we're not trying to wear skinny jeans and t-shirts and play Peter Pan and act like we're young when we're 50. That's not who we are. We're not artistas trying to somehow create illusions and images of ourselves that are not true, because we learned long ago that we're not the focus, that Jesus is the focus. But we are servants of God, and we are your servants. And we would ask that you open your heart to us. When we sit down and talk with you from the Scripture, when we sit down and counsel with you from the Scripture, that you would find room in your hearts for us. That is the only way that we can do our work with you. That is the only way we can help bring about change and growth in your life. As long as there is no room in your heart for us, there's not much that we can accomplish in your life. Now, I would challenge you today, just like the people in Corinth, they'd been wowed by the super apostles and looked down on Paul, because, forgive me, Paul was short, he was ugly, he was bald-headed, and he was bow-legged. But he was an incredible man of God. He could not compete with the flashy super apostles, but he was their spiritual father. Sometimes I feel like Paul as I'm getting older. Now, I'm not short, I am bald, I'm sure not as handsome as I used to be, but you know what? I am your pastor, and I would ask, open wide your heart to me. Open wide your heart to Sister Bev. We've spent a lifetime teaching you. We've given our lives to help you. Be careful about people who want to come along and take your heart. Open your heart to people that have given their lives to you.